Okay, so somehow I'm back at Peter's house. You remember Peter from the NSX video and from the Carrera 2S video? Peter has a never-ending supply, it seems, of cars that I want to drive. And
Indeed.
today we're driving another one of Peter's classic cars, and that is...
A 560 SL Mercedes Benz.
What year is this?
This is a 1989. This is the last year of production for this model, and arguably the best year. So some people...
The 560 relates to a 5.6 litre?
That is correct. It's the largest engine they put in these. The first series, which came out in 1971 as a 1972 model, was the 350 in the United States. I'm sorry, did I get that right? The 350 in the United States? And the 450 in the United States. It was actually a 350, called a 350 initially when it came out, but it did have a 4.5 liter engine in it, and they changed the name to 450 SL, and that was in production through 1975.
So you got any idea what the horsepower of this thing is?
Well, this is around 226, I think. It's pretty low.
It is pretty low for a 5.6 litre, wow.
Exactly, but 250, 260 foot-pounds of torque.
Oh, so it makes up for it in torque.
Oh, that's right.
4-speed auto, rear-wheel drive, and it claims a highway mileage of 17.
I don't think it's making that.
So using the same amount of fuel as a 747, basically.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay, very nice. And the colour seems pretty unique. What's the colour?
Well, this is garnet. It's kind of an unusual color. There was two colors similar. One was a burgundy type of color, but the garnet was a little rarer. And it's a little bit brighter, it pops a little bit more in the sunshine, I think.
And this car looks very stock. I mean, even the stereo looks like it's 1989.
The original Becker stereo.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
And that works, yeah.
Yep.
Right.
All right, let's take it for a spin.
Okay.
It's got the 1980s Mercedes. In fact, the whole thing's very 1980s, isn't it? The way the dash looks very...
Exactly right.
Yeah.
And what you know, if you're sitting on top of the windshield here, you can reach out and touch the windshield easily.
It's a tiny cabin, isn't it? But a huge bonnet.
Huge bonnet.
Yeah, for that big engine. Actually, before we go, we should have a quick look around the interior, since there are a few little quirky things in here. Let me turn this camera on. So it's the big 1980s dials. It's even got an economy gauge, which was common back then. Kilometers on the inside, miles on the outside. Red line's at 6,000 RPM. The clock even works. And down here there's a park brake release. This is just a pull forward. There's
a foot pedal on it. You push it and then pull that to release it. I never use it.
And the wheel is giant.
Back in the Mercedes days when they had giant steering wheels.
Yeah. And what is this?
The antenna.
Yeah.
It has an automatic antenna. You can either lock it down or turn it off, or you can put an automatic mode or actually raise it.
Yeah.
Right.
And what about this is
a fan control for the the air conditioning and so on.
Okay.
And the air conditioning buttons, of course, and the temperature. You could all scroll the wheel until you set the temperature. You know, this car for what it cost, which, you know, it was stickered at over $65,000 in 1989.
Wow.
Today's dollars over $120,000.
Yeah, so
and this was one of the more expensive cars that Mercedes-Benz made. So the materials are all top of the line. And you can see that these withstand age very well because of that. It's typical for the upholsteries to be perfect after many years.
The upholstery is perfect now.
This has really got high quality materials, which is why they last so long.
The seats actually feel almost sprung, is that right?
They are sprung.
Okay.
And I understand that they actually are upholstered underneath the cushions. They're upholstered in horsehide, which is kind of unusual, dating back to the old days.
Okay, let's take it for a spin. Red alert.
Red alert. So, first thing you need to know about these cars is that when they went to the larger engine in 1985, the 1986 model, they put a rather tall differential in it to try and make up for the loss of fuel economy. So it's got 4 speeds and the final drive ratio is 1:1, but the differential is only like 2.27 to 1. So if you leave it in drive, it can be a little lethargic.
Okay.
What I find is you leave it in 3rd gear, until you get up to like highway speeds, you're going to get a lot more performance out of the car.
And does it have a locking diff? Like, does it?
No.
No.
No, I don't believe so.
Yeah.
No.
It's got a nice sound.
It's a nice sounding car.
Yeah.
It's definitely, well, it's a roadster. It's, you know, it's a cruising car. It's not what I would call a sports car.
Yeah.
It wasn't designed to be. It's really a, you know, it's just a great convertible that you can take on a tour and have a good time with, and
Yeah.
not push it to the limits.
No.
Still got recirculating ball steering back then. They hadn't really gotten into the rack and pinion at this stage of the game. I mean, after all, this car dates back to 1971 design.
Yeah.
So
there's just a tiny bit of play in the steering there.
yeah.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to be taking corners too quickly.
And yet it'll go down the highway at 70, 80 miles an hour without any effort at all.
Yeah.
It's just lazy.
Apart from not passing too many gas stations.
Yeah, you have to plan ahead on those long journeys. You see a lot of these driving around still.
Yeah, they're still pretty popular.
Yep.
It's a
And,
popular shape.
It is a popular car, and they are now have turned the corner and actually appreciating in value. Good ones are going up in value.
So I noticed it's got the US bumpers on it, which are longer than the Euro bumpers.
That's right.
Can you actually replace those if you want, and it still
you
be?
You could do that. Yes, you could. That started around 1973, 74, I think. They started having to go to the US bumpers, which this has. It's a shame because they look better with the European style bumpers and the single headlamps. Of course, the laws back then required that you had to have, you know, seal beam headlamps.
Oh, okay.
Remember back in the days when your cars, everybody had seal beam headlamps. That was the law. Interesting enough, the 560 wasn't sold everywhere. You know, only in Australia, I think Australia, Japan, and the United States. So in England, you couldn't get this car.
I guess running this car in England, you'd have to be a millionaire.
Yeah. You can feel how smooth it is.
It's super smooth.
Yeah.
The seats are not at all supportive, like they're quite kind of slidey.
No, absolutely. It was a luxury cruiser.
Yeah. Yeah,
you weren't going to be taking this on a track.
Yeah, you definitely want to take this on a track. It's and it is a pretty strange car to drive from everything from the seating position to the way it responds. You know, you're sitting very high up, the wheel is huge, and the proportions of the car are just odd compared to modern cars. The way that the body, there's so much body in front of you and so little behind you.
Yeah, the long hood.
Yeah, the long hood.